Hi everybody, today I played Metaphor ReFantazio from Atlas, and basically this is from the same developer of Persona. Now I play Persona 5 and I find the game in many situations to be very tedious. But then I mean the overwhelming amount of dialogue and you know, this little loading screen, those interruptions that just ruin the continuum of the experience for me. Like every several seconds there's kind of a stop or something. So I asked myself if it's going to be the same. First of all, if the story will be at least some kind of interesting to me, so I can actually enjoy a bit listening to it, and whether it's going to be the same. So the good news is that it didn't feel the same. I mean, it's samey, but it didn't feel tedious, basically. I actually like the story, although there are lots of dialogues in this game as well, but you can skip them if you like. And actually found myself wanting to actually listen to the dialogue, because again, just skipping the dialogue really takes a lot of the experience. So this is something that I didn't want to skip. Sometimes I see small talks and stuff, so I can actually skip that. But certain dialogues definitely wanted to listen because they get more associated, connected with the characters. And for this type of game, I think it's pretty important. I mean, you have the option to bond with certain characters, and dialogues are actually quite fun, and there's also voice lines as well for lots of the dialogue. So it's also, when it's just, there's no dialogue, voice dialogue, it gets boring for me. And now that there is, in most part, I find it more fun to follow along. In terms of visuals, I think the UI is fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Regarding the world itself, it feels like I don't know, pre-PlayStation 1 era. I'm just kidding, but really pretty bad. But having said that, it also fits to the overall mix with the anime and cartoony style, so it's not really totally off. It also makes the UI stands more on top of it, which actually makes things kind of, in terms of contrast, pretty nice to look at. Also because it's a bit bland, visual effects, and again the UI as well, visual effects really popping off. So there are some advantages to it, but definitely this is something that I think that could have been done better. I mean, probably they're running the same engine as Persona 5, maybe that's the reason, but it was disappointing. Let's say it like that. That being said, as you can see here, the overall visuals regarding the imagery and the UI, it's gonna make up for it, so it balances things out, so it doesn't really feel like totally like a game from the 90s. In terms of progression and stuff, there are so many things you can do. I think that I really don't like having a big city and only a few things here and there. NPCs are spread throughout the big city, lots of moving around, but basically when you look at it at a large scale, the world itself is not really, I mean, immersive enough for me to really enjoy it. So it's kind of annoying. I need to go there, and I'm really not enjoying my journey throughout going into certain places. Because again, it just looks bland. You can see it here. And yeah, if it was a bit different, it would be so much better in terms of immersion. Whether it's ruined the gameplay experience for me, the answer is to very little degree, but I'm still asking myself every single time that I'm looking at these places, I mean, why they have done that? It just looks like you could have made it so much better. I mean, look at the textures, look at everything, kind of smeared off. Again, sometimes with the different things that are actually doing in the game, with the different cutscenes, it kind of fits to the overall visuals. As I told you, it's not off. Anyway, I would have liked to see something better. Some of the areas look better, like this one for example, they look in terms of design, but overall not a huge issue for me. In terms of depth, the game has lots of depth, so this is something that I'm really looking forward to, because all the different aspects of the game in terms of the archetypes and the synergy between different archetypes, and the fact that you can actually unlock more as you interact with certain NPCs during the story. You can even further bond your relationship with other NPCs. There are also quests as well that should be rewarding. I did a few when I played. In terms of combat, I really love the combat. The combat is the main thing in this game. That's what makes the game so much fun to play. If you put everything on the side, the combat is the main thing in this game. So choosing, for example, which archetypes here, for example, I'm changing my main character to be a healer. There are different items that you can find as well. Regarding exploration, so far in the demo, it was boring. It feels pretty much linear. Yeah, you can go right and left, but eventually you're gonna check out everything. And you know, when you see a chest, it doesn't really feel rewarding because it's there for you to pick up. You don't need to work for it. It's not hidden or anything. Hopefully there will be something more than that down the road, but exploration really just doesn't feel rewarding, basically. Again, the thing that for me is most annoying is all these pauses. When you start a fight, okay, when you start a fight it's okay, but then it transitions. There's a transition, there's a kind of a gap there. When you finish a fight with the experience and everything, can you just lay them out and continue moving while actually showing the screen while you continue moving afterwards? Why do you need to really pause everything for that? You're gonna skip it anyway, pretty fast. So, and there's a gap between when you start a fight and the next one, so just pausing everything just feels the best. Pretty annoying, especially when you do it quite a lot of time, especially when doing dungeons. This is one of the things that were annoying for me in Persona 5. Although I feel it's a bit smoother here, I don't know, the gaps, you know, I just don't really want them. And when it comes to, of course, the turn-based combat, I don't care. I really like the turn-based combat. You also have the ability for real-time combat against enemies that kind of marked as blue, which is nice. I really like the idea. Some, you know, when you see some trash enemies, you don't want to go into each one. And again, especially if you become powerful against them and just go into turn-based every single moment. Sometimes they're just trash enemies, just want to continue and finishing them fast, and that's actually great. Because some of the, you get experience, you get all this stuff, you just don't need to do it turn-based, especially with trash enemies. This is great. Now again, this is just the demo, so things might change for the better down the road with more complex things. Maybe just keep it simple for the early stages. We need to wait and see. Yeah, so overall, gameplay-wise, super fun. Super fun. The combat is super fun. I think the UI really makes a big difference here. The combination of real time in the turn-based and all the different possibilities here for this game to find all the you know, with the different items, with different archetypes. It really feels like something that's going to be super fun and keep the fun and players engage as they continue and progress with the game. Also, there's you go to the menu, you can actually see things related to the story. Even if you skip things, you can follow along, which is also nice. And you can save at certain points where you're not actually engaging in combat or in dungeon. I think you can save. All of that are really nice things. Also tutorials, if you forgot something, you can go back into the menu and check things out. Yeah, so it looks like to be a really fun game overall. If you take again all the pros and cons together, it looks like it's going to be a really terrific RPG game to play. And yeah, that's basically that's my first impression. They are very, very good overall, and I really enjoy my time in the demo. Thanks for watching.